Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back. Guess what? I have a brand new phone. I walked into the T-Mobile store and the associate there said, there's just no way that you have used up 64 gigabytes on your phone. And then she looked at my phone and she was puzzled. She puzzled and perplexed over it for about 10 minutes. How is it possible for you to have used up 64 gigabytes? I don't know how. Anyway, they sold me one with 128 gigabytes and they said, there's no way that you're gonna fill this whole thing up. And I said, hold my beer. Because you told me that 2 years ago when you sold me 64 gigabytes. Gosh, I'm hoping for the best, but I probably should have sprang for more gigs. All right, so today I have a Bath & Body Works candle for you. I just picked this up within the last, I wanna say 2 weeks, and I ordered it online because I have not seen it in my store, but I don't know that it necessarily said online exclusive. So the candle in question is Palo Santo and Sage, and it's one of these beautiful naturals kind of packages. So it's this gorgeous like cream taupe with the cream taupe lid, just a tiny bit of a color contrast to there. Super gorgeous. Can you think of a more sophisticated and like a cool girl kind of candle? I love it. But we've talked about the naturals packaging before. I love this candle. Maybe I should say I like this candle because I don't know that I can fully recommend it or love it given the strength and throw, which in my opinion is just not as volumized as it needs to be. Scent, absolutely gorgeous. So, oh gosh, this is good. On the Bath & Body Works website, it says, smells like, and then they have this like really cute, sweet like description. This one says, smells like an earthy, woodsy, and cleansing renewal. Okay, it doesn't tell us a whole lot that we wouldn't already assume or anticipate given the fact that the two major ingredients or scent profiles in this candle are Palo Santo, which is a really famous desert wood, and sage, which is an herb. So you probably already know that's the direction it's going to be going in. The notes listed from Bath & Body Works are clary sage, interestingly, which is a little bit different than regular sage, Palo Santo, and ambered woods. And already I thought, on paper, this looks like a candle I would really like. I love woods, I love amber, and I love herbals. So this sounded great, but also given the fact that it was a naturals line, I was a little worried about the masculine thing maybe going a little bit too far. This is so fantastic. So Palo Santo has been out for a very long time. I've got a Palo Santo here. I've positively reviewed it. And I know there's a lot of you out there that really love this Palo Santo candle. And when I smell it in conjunction with Palo Santo Sage, I'm amazed at how much musk there is in it. When I smell this up against other candles, specifically ones that lean more musky, I smell much more of the wood. But smelling it in conjunction with Palo Santo Sage, I'm getting a lot of musk. It actually reminds me of one of my other favorite candles, Pumpkin Bonfire, I think. It's got like the same muskiness of Pumpkin Bonfire, which is so fantastic. It does go a little bit masculine, but it's not overbearing or generic or synthetic or like overwhelmingly cologne-y. It's just really good. Palo Santo Sage, up next to it, is actually giving me more wood, straight wood, than the actual Palo Santo does. And it's not to diminish the woodiness of Palo Santo. It's an amazing candle. this is giving me a lot of there's a dryness and a warmness about this wood. If I didn't know it was Palo Santo, I might even think that it was like a light cedar wood or something. And it is somewhat sweet. And I'm not entirely sure where the sweetness is coming from. It could be more of a sweet or sugared amber. Clary sage does come across more sweet than regular sage. Clary sage is actually super funky. It's kind of a little bit of an acquired taste, I think. Maybe this is like an overshare, but clary sage actually is really helpful, or has been the reputation of it amongst those who do alternative medicine. Clary sage helps regulate especially female hormones. Really, really good for that. So I started using it a while back because I was desperate. And man, for the longest time, I couldn't tolerate clary sage. Now I associate it with all of its benefits, which I have really felt, even if it's just placebo. So now I love clary sage, and I have to say that my favorite clary sage is from the essential oil company doTERRA. It's way overpriced. I get it. I'm not like a exclusive doTERRA person. In fact, I shop a lot of different essential oils, a lot that are quality but also cheaper, and not like the multi-level kind of companies. But I keep coming back to doTERRA. Their clary sage is incredible. This is not as funky as a true pure clary sage, which is going to be good for some people because, like I said, it's super strong. But one of its elements is that it is sweeter than a regular sage, which leans more savory and more tea-like. Although there is something in this candle that is reminiscent of a candle I just reviewed, the Kringle candle that was herbs and spice. This actually smells very reminiscent. It's not the same candle, but it smells reminiscent of herbs and spice, which kind of doesn't surprise me because you remember when I did that video and I told you that I thought a better name for the Kringle candle was cigars and sage, because even though sage wasn't listed in the notes, to me it came across as sage. So it's kind of not surprising to me. This one is a little sweeter than herbs and spice, and the scent profile here is less complicated than the Kringle one. It's much more straightforward, fewer elements. There's a greater confidence and refinement actually in this candle as opposed to herbs and spice, even though herbs and spice had the potential, I think, to be a really complex, interesting, and innovative scent. It just wasn't executed quite correctly. This one is executed beautifully. Executed, I think I said that right. It's executed beautifully. It's straightforward. It's simple. It's sweet enough that I think a lot of people will really love this candle, even if they're a little worried about the herbal element and a little worried about the sage. And I get that. Sage it's a pretty pronounced kind of herb, but it's sweet and it's warm and inviting because of that beautiful desert wood that's coming through, I think, most dominantly. And the sage and the amber are just, the amber is warming it, the sage is making it more spicy and like intriguing. When I smell it, sometimes it almost goes a little bit spicy, like incense, or even like a touch, a whisper of cardamom, just a tiny bit. But it pulls back. It doesn't go full board like super exotic spices like that. But man, it comes close. It's like it's flirting with it. I love this. Currently there is a candle out called Palo Santo and Vanilla, I think. Actually, I'll put a picture up here. Palo Santo and Vanilla. I smelled that in the store, not great. I'm not gonna lie to you. Much better to just get the Palo Santo candle. The Palo Santo Vanilla just like waters down and kind of undermines the Palo Santo without adding anything that's like value added. It's just not, the vanilla is just diluting it. This is one of those like add-ons that is true value added. That sage really transforms the Palo Santo and makes it something completely different than what you've got in Palo Santo just by itself. If you've got this candle, this is not similar to it. So you can definitely buy both at the same time, and I highly recommend it. It has been burning fine. It does burn very quickly. I've burned it like twice, and I feel like it's half gone. It does burn very hot, and it looks like it's sooting, but I'm actually getting relatively little soot. So far it's going well. Now, obviously, all bets off in the second half of the candle, if you know what I mean, for Bath & Body Works, but so far so good. Unfortunately, the first time that I burned it, it was like, as Kent from Candle Channel would say, Yankee Candle levels of unscented. First burn was very bad. I mean, like, I had to hover over this candle and I was not smelling it. But I put it in my candle lab, my little half bath, you know, and I didn't shut the door. I left it open, and the second burn was much better. I mean, it was filling out, coming out of the bathroom, into the hallway, into the corridor. I would say that it probably hit about a 4 to a 5, which is not great. I want to see this candle much stronger, but 4 or 5 I'll do. And that was with the door open. If you remember the herbs and spice of Kringle, you had to have the door closed to get it to 4 and 5. And if you open the door, it dropped down. So I would say if you're interested in kind of an herbal candle, because they're very similar, I have to recommend this over the Kringle candle because it's far less expensive, especially if you get it on sale. You've got a company here that has a much more generous return policy, and it does have a little bit more volume than the Kringle herbs and spice, at least in the subsequent burns. So you are going to need to be thoughtful about where you position this in your house. I would like to see more volume. I want to see this be at least a 6, if not a 7. I think a 7 would be really great. More than that may in fact be too overwhelming given the fact that you have very strong masculine leading elements in this. And given your particular scent preferences, that may be too much. But I think we all probably want at least a 6 or a 7 on this kind of a candle. I think it's a relatively new scent, but I'm not like completely up to speed with all of the offerings that Bath & Body Works has offered in the last like few years. So someone may correct me, please correct me if you know if Palo Santo Sage has come out in some other year, in some other packaging, whatever else. I highly recommend it. It is available online. I don't know if it's available in your store. If you've got a test store, or if you've got like a really, really good like White Barn kind of footprint, that's not the right word. If your store has a lot of candles, perhaps it will be there. Mine is relatively small and it was not. So like I said, you may need to wait for a cool online order with like free shipping. Okay, that's all I've got for you. I'll see you in the next one.